Good morning, good afternoon to one and all. Today, today I'm going to discuss about my data mining methodology to project. So I have performed a basic analysis, unsupervised analysis on my machine learning on my data set, uh, and I have found out few findings. Which can be useful for the future further analysis. So actually today, uh, I guess I'm the first person to go through different analysis. So I'm going to present my analysis to the wider audience in order to um, in order for some time constraints, I only performed only on few. I performed only few analysis. So in the time permits, I would like to extend my analysis. So first of all, uh, I will go through introduction. So what is the basic things like? Uh, it's like process of model building involves building a product that is efficient to give the results desired. So like we build a model in order to we build a model in such a way that it gives us a desired results. So the process of building an model is an iteration process. So we may not be satisfied with one particular results. So we iterate the process of model building till we get our desired results. Till we get our desired results. In, it is for first of all, in order to build a model, it is important to bring the data into a valid format. So how can we bring the data to valid format? And by the process of data pre-processing, we can bring the data back to the valid format. So like now we are performing unsupervised learning. We have such columns wherein the ranges differ widely. So the in order to bring them to the if you one scale, have made use of scaling function with the process of this using the scaling function. The data is brought to a valid format. Uh, by scaling, the different features are uniform, like the ranges are uniform. So one feature may not have high bias, and another feature may not have low bias. So the by scaling the features, the uniform, the bias has become uniform. So our data may have some missing values. In order to deal with that missing values, you can do mode imputation, mean imputation, or KNN imputation. KNN imputation is much robust method. Mm, so the missing values are also imputed in such a way that there is no bias in the data. So these are the process. Then now after selecting the model, we will do hyper tuning parameters in the model, like suppose if it is k means, like how many clusters we have to select, uh, which would reduce different parameters like cap statistics, cellulose width, etc. So we do the hypertuning parameter, like selecting different uh, clusters. So these are the methodologies I have followed. First of all, have looked for the missing values. So uh, and had a few missing. I didn't like this data was a little bit clean, so I didn't have much missing values. Like I had missing values of about 2 or 3%. So what I have done is like I have used mode imputation. Now the mode imputation is the robust method which reduces the bias in missing value imputation. I have used the mode imputation method in order to impute missing values. Since my variables, some of my variables were categorical, so like I would like start like my data set is insurance data set. So I had various columns like age, sex, BMI, children, smoker, the region, etc. So since in my data I have some categorical variables, I need to, so in order to do use k-means analysis, I need to use dummy variable creation in order to represent my categories. So like you can see from this picture, here my sex, smoker, region, etc. are my categorical variables. So I need to represent this categorical variables by dummy variable creation. So I have represented it like this. So now my next step is to scaling of features. Now actually you can see the charges is huge values like 1000, 2000. They have so much huge values, while my dummy variable creation is 0 or 1s. So in order to represent them in uniform feature, have scaled them. So now since my data was pretty much clean, I didn't perform too many pre-processing techniques. So depending upon the needs, we have to perform. We may have to perform more pre-processing techniques. Now, I have run through k-means. K-means, you can see here the clusters formed here. So we can see that the clusters are well separated, even though they have few overlaps. The idea of k-mean clustering is mainly to divide into groups and clusters. So the main idea is like now I have an insurance data set. Now I want to divide my customers like premium customers. Premium customers are those who need premium insurance in order to support them, because they are more vulnerable to diseases. And we have few individuals who are not who are very young, depending on their age and BMI. They may not be so vulnerable to health diseases, so they may be, so insurance cost for those people will be less. So like this we are clustering our data, like we want to cluster the customers into groups, various groups, so that we can provide the insurance cost based on the group. So here we can see like idea of the clustering is dividing the groups is to divide customers into certain groups. The factors affecting the premium are health conditions. So health conditions may affect um, the health insurance cost. BMI and smoking habits obviously affect the health insurance cost. So even we have a column for location, like some locations may be too cold, too hot, too handle. So people may be very vulnerable to different kind of diseases. So depending on this, the insurance cost will be we divide divide the groups into clusters, and we provide different insurance cost. So as you can see, as we go to right, maybe the insurance cost increases for those dark green people, and this as we go up, uh, the insurance may depend vary upon their health habits, may vary upon their location, etc. So these are the important factors in order to divide our groups. So looking into dividing the group is one thing, and like we want to know like what is the optimal number of groups we can divide based upon the cluster. So as you can see, mm, by within sum of clusters is 40%. So this says it explains 40% of total variance in my data. So this is the point to be noted here. So this is the centroids of my features. So different features. These are my different four centroids. So since I have selected four clusters, I have got four centroids. Now my optimal number of clusters. As you can see, I have used different methods like elbow method, Silhouette's method, and gap statistics. These have been discussed in the class also. So like in the main idea of elbow method is we want to see the clusters which show the greatest decrease of the total sum of squares. We can see here there was a steady decrease, but at 4 we can see um, till 4 we can see there was high amount of decrease in total sum of squares. After 4, the decrease in total sum of, there was no much decrease in the total sum of squares. So here I consider the 4 is the optimal number of clusters. I can divide my clusters into 4 groups. Now coming to Sillo's method. So Sillo's width is like within the clusters how much there is width. So you can see at Sillo's width greatly increased at 2. So more higher Sillo's width is important. So after 2 there is drop in the Sillo's width. So I consider here 2 as my optimal number. Now coming to gap statistics, the high gap statistics signifies good clustering. So what does high gap statistics signifies is the gap between the number within the clusters. So if there is high number of gap, we can signify that yes, this there was a good clustering between them. So here we can see there was high gap statistics when the number of clusters was 4. Then it decreased steadily. So we consider 4 as an optimal number. Now coming to Clara algorithm. So why do we use Clara algorithm is like more than dividing our customers into different clusters, we want to get hold of the outliers. What are the outliers used in the clusters? So here we can see, yeah, there are 3 such customers we can see here uh, who are which are outliers. So outliers need not be like the data is wrong. In that case, there may be certain customers who are highly using the insurance, using huge amount of insurance. So they may have to be grouped in higher value than compared to others. There may be some frauds also happening in insurance companies. So outliers may even signify certain frauds. So these are the Clara clustering is mainly used in order to get hold of outliers. So similarly, we can perform optimal what is the optimum number of clusters. So we can see here 5 is the optimal number of clusters. At 5 there was a greatest decrease. Then there is a damp, we can see here. This is called elbow. So this is the main idea of elbow method, and you can see here 3 there is a increase, and after 3 there is certain decrease. So we can see according to Sillos with 3 is the optimal number of the clusters, and according to gap statistics we can see mm, that the 5 is the optimal number. At 5 there was greatest increase in the gap statistics, then it steadily decreased. Then coming to hierarchical clustering. So the main idea of the hierarchical clustering is to form a cluster based on hierarchy. So in hierarchical clustering, what we do is we take our data and form a dendrogram, and with the dendrogram, we cut into number of clusters and then form clusters here. So as you can see, yeah, this is the dendrogram for our data set. It is, since the data set is very high, so it is bit clumsy and bit difficult to see in cluster dendrogram. And these are the different methods, like we can use different algorithms within hierarchical cluster, like WARD-D, single, average, etc., with different distance methods. So here what the uniformly divides into equal number of clusters, while single you can see high density towards left or right. So single is used to detect outliers, whereas body is used to determine different clusters. So similarly, yeah, we can see here the cellulose width for Agnes algorithm is like 0.6, which is pretty much good. And we can see the gap within this Van clusters, and you can see that agglomerative coefficient of this cluster is 0.91, which is pretty high. So similarly, you can see this Cellulose plot for Dianis, which is 0.6, but you can see few clusters are misclassified by seeing the cellulose bar chart. So these are the clustering methods I have followed. Next, what I have done is I have seen dimension detection, and I have seen the spread of that data and observed data spread. So I performed principal component analysis on my data. So the main area of the principal component analysis is to change the dimensions of the vectors in the dimension of data, so that maximum variance can be explained easily. Yeah, so you can see, yeah, we have reduced the dimensions to 2, and we can explain here 38% of variability. Yeah, so you can see as we go to right, the age is decreased. As we go to left, we can see more lighter nodes, which determine increase of age. So this is Tisney. Yeah, Tisney does very good job in dimension reduction techniques. The main idea of the Tisney is it also sees the direction of maximum sees the direction of the vectors such that there is a maximum variance explained. The advantage of Tisney is that it preserves the distance between the nodes, so we can see like how well the smoker has formed clusters here while separating other clusters. By looking at this, the insurance company can say like, yeah, this customers has to be charged a little bit more because they are very well separated. So coming to the conclusion, K-means performed well according to me in dividing the clusters very well, and it's most general method and easiest method to follow, while Clara like algorithms has performed well in detecting the outliers very well uh, compared to other methodologies. So coming to dimension hierarchical clustering, Agnes was better. Agglomerative clustering was better compared to others, and it was much faster compared to other clustering methods. And coming to dimension reduction techniques, Disney has performed very well compared to other dimension reduction techniques in clustering the data. So these are my this is my basic project which I have performed. So that's it. So thank you very much for giving me opportunity to present my important findings. Thank you.